This past week has been full of Groo goodness, from my point of view, and I want to share that goodness with you. Hi, I'm Darren, these are my hands, and this is GrooTube, where we appreciate the art of Sergio Aragonés. Today, a seemingly random video filled with a bunch of non-related Groo things that I hope that you'll enjoy. First, the Groo Meets Tarzan series is complete. Second, I've got some acquisitions to fill some holes in my collection. And third, animated Groo news. This past week, Groo Meets Tarzan number 4 hit the racks at our local comic book stores. I'll confess that with long spans of time between Groo releases, and the fact that we're reading miniseries now, not monthly comics, I have a bit of a difficult time shifting into gear. So, getting into Groo Meets Tarzan didn't come instantly for me. But I find that as I reread, I enjoy new Groo more each time. One thing that I was a little bit disappointed about in this final Groo Meets Tarzan book, I was really hoping to see Groo and Tarzan battling the dinosaurs of Pal Ul Dawn based on what we saw on the cover. Yes, the dinos were there, but there was no epic Groo and Tarzan team-up to slay the dinos. Sorry for the spoilers. Otherwise, I am very glad to have this book in my hands, and from what Mark writes in Groograms, it sounds like the Groo vs. the Gods miniseries is on its way very soon. I can't wait. I hope we don't have to wait until the summer. Now I want to talk about comic book acquisitions. And this comes in two parts. First, when I went to pick up my Groo Meets Tarzan issue, I had to flip through the boxes to see if there were any new old Groo that I might want. Nothing. But there's another nice little comic/record store around the corner, so I went there. Almost bought myself a copy of Steely Dan's Greatest Hits, but I didn't want to pay $40 for it, and I thought I'd flip through his boxes. And this is what I found. A copy of Epic number 76, The Mines of Minas, for $1.77. Another copy to put in my reader box, and I was curious to see if the printing was as vibrant as in my original copy. So here's the new one, here's my original one. Here's a page with fish. This should be a good comparison. And there you go. Yeah, the colors really are nice and saturated on both copies. I guess it was just a really nice print run. Yeah, it looks really good. So that was a fun pickup. Let's keep these separated properly. Original, new. Look what else I got. A copy of Epic number 81, The Legend of Thais, Part 2 of 4, for 88 cents. Yeah, the spine is split at the top. There's some creases in the corner, but for 88 cents, totally going in the reader box. And I want to point out that in my last video, I was corrected on my pronunciation of Thais. Very happily, one of the viewers of the video, Christian Ryan Sanchez, let me know that her middle name happens to be Thais, and it's pronounced Thais, so she should know. And yes, I know who Christian is, and I'm happy that she's watching the videos. Shout out to Guillaume Bélanger. If this was your comic back in the day, and you see this video, please get in touch. Your old comic is safe in my collection. And are you ready for this one? Dark Horse Presents issue number 7 from 2014. This was a really exciting find for me. Groo is here on the cover. Inside chapter 1 of a 3-part mini story, Groo the Wanderer, the kids who would be kings. Very happy to be reading this in a super legitimate way now. and it was only $6.50 Canadian. All right. The second part of comic acquisitions for me this past week, filling some holes in my Groo collection with some help from some Groo friends. I've already opened the packages. They're just in the box here for fun. Yeah, I'm just going to be a bit of a tease here. From my Saskatoon Groo friend, I've got Epic number 93. It's always bothered me that I didn't have this comic in my collection. Somehow I missed it back in 1992. And the cover is absolutely fantastic with these childlike versions of the characters and the creators on the cover, plus a couple mysteries to solve. Oh, I think that this cover can be an episode on its own, so I'll just leave it at that. And Epic number 109, Groo, Man of the People, Part 4. I actually have more holes to fill in the late 90s to the early 100s of the Epic run than I have in the 100 teens of the Epic run. So I was really glad to be able to acquire this one too. Thank you, friend from Saskatoo, Saskatchewan. All right. Then a Texas Groo friend sent me Dark Horse Groo number 2, and this is a really nice copy. Thank you very much for that. Are you ready for what's next? Epic Groo 110 and Epic Groo 118, another cover that I could probably devote an entire episode to. And then here's the really exciting one. Starslayer issue number 5 from Pacific Comics. Wowzers, what a nice copy of this one too. Thank you very much, Texas Groo friend. Now, I've been quite content to read Groo vs. the Chikora in my copy of the Groo Chronicles number 2 for all these years, but what a treat to have a copy of the comic that it originally appeared in. And there's that coming soon from Sergio Aragonés ad. Check this out. Look at the monster in his original color. He's green. Not browny purple. What a treat to have this. Now I can examine the bridge of Groo's nose to see if Sergio redrew anything for the Chronicles version. So thank you very much, Texas Groo friend. Nice. All right, the last thing I want to talk about today is animated Groo. By now, I'm sure that you've heard the animated Groo the Wanderer news. Rumors about this had been percolating around for the past few months, of course. Throughout the decades, Mark and Sergio had addressed the possibility of a Groo movie or television show in the pages of Groograms, mostly dismissing the rumors, but occasionally teasing the possibility if it could be done right. Well, now we've got probably the most solid, factual news about Groo on the big screen, or the small screen, or the streaming screen that we've had. Let's take a look at what we know for sure about this potential project. Then we can continue posting our speculations and wish lists, and maybe fears, in the comment section of the internet. First up, The Hollywood Reporter. November 19, 2021, Groo the Wanderer eyed for animation adaptation. Entrepreneur Josh Jones has acquired the animated film and television rights to the long-running comedic comic from legendary Spanish cartoonist Sergio Aragonés. Well, that's certainly exciting-sounding news, and the first paragraph of the report states, quote, Groo the Wanderer is on its way to animation. Wow, that kind of sounds like it's a sure thing. Then we hear that the rights have been acquired by Josh Jones, a name that anyone that's been around the internet and Groo fandom since the 1990s recognizes as a longtime fan and a guy who Sergio and we can trust to be as authentic to our beloved Wanderer as anyone can. The next part tempers our expectations with the word intent. The intent is producing the character's first ever adaptation via his film company, Did I Err Productions. So, it's not that the animated Groo is being made right this moment, but the intent is to make it. So, exciting, but not imminent. But exciting. Sergio gives some backstory in the report where we read Hollywood has occasionally flirted with the character, but Aragonés says most times interested parties weren't willing to back that interest with money. It seems that is what has changed here. A trusted party who understands Groo the Wanderer and has the finances to back the project up. Sergio is quoted regarding his enthusiasm, saying, "Sadly, comic books have a limited audience. Even a good one with the classic heroes sells only 100,000. Imagine 1 million people knowing your character. That would be a dream." So clearly, Sergio is excited about the prospects as well. Now on to Did I Err Productions. Looking at the Did I Err Productions website, which has an uncanny similarity to the official Groo.com website, a few things are restated and I think deserve emphasis. Animated film / TV rights are what we're talking about here. This is an animation project, not a live action project. So continue to cast your favorite actors if you want, but what we're looking forward to here is Groo, the comic character, brought to life through animation. And I will speculate here, maybe just offer my wishes, but I expect that the animated Groo will be visually as close to Sergio's drawings as can be managed. I don't expect a reinterpretation of the art style, or CGI, or motion capture. I expect the panels of the comic book on the screen. At least, that's what I'm wishing for. Also, film and TV rights are what's possible right now. It could be a feature film, it could be a TV movie, or it could be a TV series. We don't know what form it will take yet, but Did I Err Productions does state that projects are intended for global distribution with streaming services. So, it looks like they want to put Groo in our homes, streaming on our devices. And that makes sense to me. There's an ease of access to streaming, global streaming, and a barrier with movie theater releases. Considering Sergio would love to see 1 million people knowing Groo, my bet is on a streaming series. Not just for ease of getting eyeballs on Groo, but for drawing out the potential viewing time. A film would just be a one-time event, but if we're watching Groo every week on Netflix, for example, Groo stays in the public's mind much longer and can translate to comic and other merchandise purchases. I want to buy more Groo merch. Last thoughts? Josh has a partner in Did I Err Productions, Scott Nocas, the guy behind the Groo.com website redesign, and Sergio's longtime wordsmith, Mark Evanier, is also involved. The four will be producers of the film and/or television series. So, lots of exciting Groo news in this past week. At least for me. I hope you enjoyed this video of tangentially related Groo stuff. Let me know in the comments how you enjoyed the Groo Meets Tarzan series and what your hopes are for an animated Groo the Wanderer. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on because I don't want you to miss out on the fun when I'm back next with another GrooTube. Take care, everyone. All right, let's compare these noses. Looks pretty good on this page. Yep, looks pretty good to me.